Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Not Fancy League. I'm Rob,
I'm Tyler.
and we are here riding in between weeks 3 and 4. We got a great show for you guys today. A great interview with Theo, manager of the Rock Springs Football Club. I got to sit down with him a little bit today and talk about his team. But to start it out and how we've decided we're going to start out all these videos from this point forward is we're going to give you a standings update. Let you give a quick look at who's where in the league, look at the playoff percentages, who's in, who's not. Only 4 teams get in. It's tight out here. So at the very, very top, you got 2 3-0 teams, Payne and then McManus and Team Arias, both tops in their division, both 3-0, and both tops in points 4. Is there anything you're seeing here in the standings, Tyler, you'd like to point out?
Yeah, I mean, McManus has a clear lead on points, over 60 points on the next guy. So McManus is definitely the guy to go. And then there's just a tier right below with Arias and maybe DeMarco Murray and then kind of middle of town. But then there's another group towards the bottom if we want to get down.
There is another group kind of towards the bottom, kind of under 360 points for. The only thing is Team Arias is sitting over here, 312 points against, least in the league. Some people are calling him a fraud team. I don't know. It's just what I'm hearing on the streets. Just what I'm hearing in the rumor mills. Only 312 points against. But it's kind of everyone's all over the place. You got some teams at the top, some teams at the bottom, and a lot kind of right in the middle. I think it's been a pretty balanced league so far. So this is our quick standings update. Thank everybody for joining us with our standings update. All right, moving on to our L of the week. I'm gonna give this one out to Team Tobin and the Chargers defense specifically. Put up a -6. It's always hard to win when you got a team or a player going out there getting -6 points. Any thoughts on the L of the week, Tyler?
Yeah, no, I mean, anytime you could just not start anyone and get more points, it's a tough week. I don't know. I'm in shambles. I think I say this every week, so it's whatever. We're gonna make a great comeback. I just need to make the playoffs and then watch magic happen. So
yeah, what's the saying is it's got to be bleak. It's got to be bleak for it to be a comeback. Otherwise, it's not a comeback.
yeah, you can't have a great comeback without a great deficit. So let's make magic happen.
Nothing but optimism coming from the 0-3 Team Tobin. All right, moving on to our MVP of the week. We got 2 different players. The first one I'm going to go to Devonte Smith. He had an absolute baller of a week. He's sitting out there on Team Arias. A big reason he won this week, a big reason he's sitting 3-0. I think the emergence of Devonte Smith could be really big.
Yeah, and another guy, MVP in the NFL maybe. Lamar Jackson. I mean, the stats, he's just killing it right now. Having maybe another MVP year. On pace, I saw on Twitter, maybe 63 touchdowns this year. So, I mean, yeah, Lamar had a baller day today or this weekend. And, that's why I put him as my MVP.
There we go. Yeah, he's been looking good so far. Arguably, I think he's the number 1 fantasy quarterback right now. MVP of the season so far. MVP week 3. Lamar Jackson.
In some leagues, if you he would be number 5, he'd be number 1, and then number 5 if you don't count his rushing. So he'd be top 5 for both.
All right, so we're back here with our X Factors of the week. We had a quick technical difficulty. Don't know if you're even going to see what happened right there. But our X Factor of the week, we're going to go with one of our closest games, Trevor Lawrence. He came up big this week. A big reason why the Chargers defense actually had -6 points. Probably his best game as a pro so far. He looked really, really good and was a big reason the Standard won this week. So we're going straight into our Week 3 box scores now. So just kind of going over all these different games. And we're going to start with the Standard. So they came out ahead only by 13 points. Huge 25-point outing from Trevor Lawrence. Kyle Pitts finally had over 10 points. So that was a big win for the Standard as a whole. And Carson Wentz didn't have negative points. So I'd say all in all, it was a good week for the Standard.
Yeah, it's a good day. I mean, looking over at Blasi, just a rough week. Jalen Hurts obviously balled out like he's been doing all year.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown's been having a performance. It's just, I don't know. He just went up against a good matchup this week.
Yeah,
dropped 130 and lost.
Yeah,
it's tough, but
second most points in the league this week. The Standard. It's going to be hard to beat anybody like that. He just was good. He was very, very good this week. All right, moving on.
Yeah, the record.
Oh, what?
The record does not show Blasi's skill. I feel he's an underrated team. buy stock in Blasi.
Buy stock now in Blasi, but we're going to kick it over to Jalen Hurts. What happened today in this game, Jalen?
The standard is the standard and the only rising.
Thank you so much, Jalen Hurts. That was awesome.
Jalen.
Thank you for coming in. The standard is the standard, and the standard is rising. 1-2 for the standard. All right. Moving on to our second game. We got Team Arias versus Team Toman. Team Arias, once again, looking really good. Devonte Smith drops 31 points. Josh Allen continues to produce at a crazy level. And the standard, your quarterback's got to show up. No, I'm sorry, not the standard. Team Toman, your quarterback's got to show up.
I mean, this guy, Russell Wilson, just insufferable, dude. And it's fine if you're insufferable and good, but you can't be insufferable and bad. And then Kyler Murray, I don't know, he just plays backyard football, so it's whatever. And then you get your defense, like we talked about earlier, just being a joke. Yeah, it's not great, man. Not great, Bill.
Not great.
Not
So,
great.
Team Arias moving on to 3-0. Big matchup this week. We'll get into that a little bit later.
By the way, what'd you
Huh?
give him preseason rankings, his team? What was that record?
I have to give him a D-. And all I'm going to say right now is there are no guarantees he doesn't lose every game from here on out. Score, luck, whatever that's called, karma, it's going to come back around. All right, moving on.
I like it.
Moving on. We got Payne and the McManus versus Team Squigs. Payne and McManus continues to roll. Anything you're seeing from Team Trich, a.k.a. Payne and the McManus?
Yeah, I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. It's pretty nice. And then you got, Swift, I think he's injured. We'll see how he plays out. But, I mean, got good run. His team's just dangerous.
It's a good team.
Dogs everywhere, is that high schooler said.
Yeah, and the thing is, no one's really that old either. It's Mahomes, it's Lamar, it's Waddle, it's Barkley, it's Rashad Bateman, it's all these guys. All looks really, really good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Dynasty, people are asking.
Maybe. We'll see. He's not lost yet. So
Yeah.
Moving on to the other side, handed their very first loss, Team Squigs. Just kind of fell flat this week. Nobody really went crazy. Jonathan Taylor, who I was projecting to have a big game, I guess he can have a bad game, and the Chiefs can lose, because that makes complete sense. I don't know how the Colts beat the Chiefs. That's a whole different story. But, just Stephon Diggs was average. Both his quarterbacks weren't really that great. Nothing really I'm seeing from Squigs that went well this week. He'll try to bounce back again this week.
It's just an underperforming week. When you have a player like Mike Williams, that you kind of have to build that in. He's a boomer bust guy. He has a lot of solid guys that should even it out, but it's a week you underperform.
Yeah.
So you got to coach him up better next week and see what happens.
Yeah. All right, moving on to another really close game, or not another. One of our close games this week, we had Where's DeMarco Murray versus Money Manziel. I unfortunately took a loss this week. First loss of the season, now sitting 2-1, tied with Where's DeMarco Murray. Joe Burrow played well, and Mark Andrews played well, and then nobody else on my team even bothered to show up. Javonte Williams starting to drive me crazy. I don't know why I was so high on the Broncos. It's really just starting to make me feel very upset. Any thoughts on what happened for Alex this week? Excuse me.
Alex scored good points. Playoff money, he didn't give the touchdown as promised.
No, he did
not. Came out with some fancy points. McCaffrey's now injured again, so we got to ask when Alex come back if he's worried about McCaffrey being injured all year. But yeah, quarterbacks played solid. Wide receivers and tight ends played
and
solid.
Matt Prater dropping 14 points. That's just a casual 14.
Yeah, Prater dropping 14 is nice.
Yeah.
The Steelers defense only 1 point. 7 more than mine, but that's, pretty good.
All right, and moving on to our final game, it was our game of the week. We'll talk about it a little bit later with Theo in the interview. He steamrolled his brother. Everybody was cooking this week for the Rock Springs Football Club, and nothing was going right for Fields of Dreams. Any takeaways from this game, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a slobber, and there's not much to talk about. We get a little more in depth in the interview, so pay attention for that. But I'll focus a little more on the Field of Dreams with Nathan's team. It's just you got a lot of. Justin Jefferson nobody. David Montgomery getting injured is rough, but yeah, it's just a bad week, and then you just go against the guy with the most points. So you know what? If you're gonna have a bad week, do it against the guy that has the most points. That's a good time.
That is true. At that point, it's not gonna matter. So that was us wrapping up here, week 3. Things are looking good. We're just gonna keep moving on. So in big news, we do finally have a punishment decision we know what we're going to do for our punishment for who loses the most games in these different picks that we got. So whoever loses is going to get eggs thrown at them. And the number of eggs thrown at that person is how many games they lose by. So if you lose by 4 games, because you were 4 games under the record of the other guy, you'll get 4 eggs thrown at you. I believe this is going to be done shirtless, and it's going to be done outside in the cold. We're out here in Chicago. It's going to be cold. Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be entertaining if it goes really far. Like if someone has to throw like 30 eggs. I don't know. That would just
No, we gotta
be
stay
tough.
with it.
That'd
It's
be
a carton
tough.
of eggs.
That'd be tough.
So for example, right now, Rob, you're 1-4, and I'm 3-2, finally winning in something in this league. And so you would get 2 eggs thrown at you if the season ended today.
yes,
So that's how we're gonna do it.
that'll be what it is. It's gonna be eggs in the chest, not eggs in the face. You're just gonna have to chest face all these eggs. All right, so
if you have bad aim, you have bad aim.
Yes. All right, so let's go through some of these games. We got Team
Blossy
Blossy
and Field of Dreams.
versus Field of Dreams. 2 0-3 teams sitting at the bottom. I was going first last week in all the picks, Tyler. I'm gonna have you go first this week. I'm gonna see if things change up. See what you got.
Okay. I'm gonna go Team Blossy this week. They dropped points last week. They were unfortunate, and I think he's gonna come out with some anger this week. I think mark Team Blossy for a dub.
I'm gonna go opposite side of you. I'm gonna go Fields of Dreams. I think Justin Jefferson can't be held down 2 games in a row. Debo's due for something here at some point. So I'm going to go Fields of Dreams. The second quarterback situation's got to be figured out there for Team Blaster before I can start picking them. So moving on to the Standard versus Where's DeMarco Murray. Who do you got in this matchup?
I'm gonna ride with my my boy Alex. Where's DeMarco Murray? I think he's gonna pull off another win, go to 3-1.
I'm going to ride with Where's DeMarco Murray as well. I'm still not buying the Standards quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence had a good week. Do it to me twice in a row, Trevor. And then maybe I'll start paying attention. But until then, I'll be riding with Alex and Where's DeMarco Murray. And then moving on to Team Squigs versus the Rock Springs Football Club. 2 friends, Derek and Theo, going head-to-head this week. One of our closest projected games. This is going to be very interesting. So who do you got in this matchup, Tyler?
The battle of guests so far. Could be a close one.
Yeah.
Nope, it's not.
I was trying to correct you there. But you're good.
Future battle of future guests as well.
Battle of future guests.
There we go. Good save. Gosh, this one's so tough because I mean, as we said, it's the closest matchup, but I'm gonna go with our the person we did have on, Theo, with Rock Springs Football Club. Tom Brady against Kansas City, expecting some points. I don't know. I like them. I think they're going to get a win this week.
I'm going to go with Team Squigs. They were sitting 2-0. I picked them last week. They lost. There's no way I'm wrong twice. Team Squigs in that very, very close matchup. And moving on to our game of the week. This is a big one right here. We have not the game of the week. Not the game of the week. We have one more game. There are 2 people right now in this Zoom, and they just so happen to be playing each other this week. I think you guys know who's going to pick who. Obviously, I'm riding with Team Money Manziel. I'm riding with the greatest of Tyreek Hill, Joe Burrow. Picked up Jared Goff. Team is moving up. Team's moving up. I have faith in the boys.
Yeah, I'm projecting more points than you, so I just listened to the superior in technology, and I would just follow that. So, I followed my models.
I'm just gonna quick look at the records: 2-1, 0-3. Come on. All right, and now moving on to our actual game of the week.
Yes.
Dun-dun-dun. Game of the week. We have 2 undefeated teams remaining. It is Team Arias and Payne and the McManus, both sitting at 3-0. I think everyone knows who I'm going to be picking in this game. Tyler, who are you going to be picking in this game?
Man, this one's tough. I know the funniness of you just every week getting, as I say, egg in your face and will later on in this season. I'm just gonna ride with Adrian because every week it's gonna be losing. It's that D- grade. If he goes undefeated, you should get tattoo of just D- somewhere.
That would be
That'd be
pretty
good.
funny. That would be pretty funny. I don't know if I'm going to agree to that.
Yeah.
Maybe if it gets closer, I'll start thinking about it more. We'll have to discuss that when Adrian's actually on. We should have
If we
Adrian
get
on
three
next week.
comments on this video, Robert and Aries
4
goes undefeated
comments
this year.
next week. 5 comments next week, and Adrian has to sign off on it. I'm sure he'll be.
And he goes undefeated.
And he has
Then
to go
you'll get
undefeated.
it.
Yeah. So all right, we'll see. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm obviously riding the pain in the McManus. I think they're the best team in the league right now. I don't think they can be touched. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated, but Lamar and Mahomes seem to keep picking each other up when one of them falls. And other than that, the rest of the team seems solid.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a good one. It might be Mahomes versus Tampa Bay defense, which looks like one of the best defenses. See if it's going to be a slump week and see if Josh Allen and Baltimore can, score some points, because that will be happening.
Yeah. So that should be a very interesting matchup. We'll be able to talk to Adrian next week about that. But right now, we get to go to our guest Theo. I got to sit down with him for maybe about 10 minutes or so. It was a pretty good interview. So please, without further ado, here's Theo. All right, we are here with Theo of the Rock Springs Football Club. Came off a big win this week over his brother, winner of the game of the week. So just to start it out, Theo, tell us a little bit about yourself, who your favorite team is, and why you started playing fantasy football.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said so lovely, my name is Theo. I met Robbie when we went to school together at the University of Kansas. We were lucky enough to end up on the same floor of our dorm room, Robbie's freshman year, and then which would be my sophomore year. My favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. It's my team. It's your team too. A little bit of a rough start to the season for the boys, but I got to say, as of recording, this is Wednesday, September 28th. On the 26th, we had an outstanding performance against the Giants. And I'm going to be real with you boys. If we only win one more game for the rest of the year, it's going to be that other matchup against the Giants. So I'm in a pretty good spot where I'm at right now. Started doing fantasy not too long ago. I think it might have been the year we met. So my sophomore year.
Oh, really?
Was
I didn't realize you've been playing so recently.
No, I started playing very recently, and actually, funny enough, the first year I played in our league, I lost, and my punishment.
Oh,
was
yes.
They picked something from the dining hall and they put it in a blender, and I had to drink it. Was my punishment. So after that happened, I became incredibly determined not to lose again, and slowly, steadily over the years, I've been doing better and better. Last year, I was in 2 leagues, and I took home 2 bronze medals.
There you go.
About that.
And
for gold at this point.
And currently, right now, you're second in your division. You're in the playoffs. So take us a little bit through your team. We'll fill your team up right now on the screen so everybody can see it. What your thought was going into the draft, because I don't think you've ever done a dynasty league like this before. So just what your strategy was, what you thought you were going to do.
So I had a couple strategies going into the draft because kind of like you said, I had never done it before. I had a couple strategies going on, but then it was very clear very quickly that none of my strategies were going to work. I don't know who it was, but when whoever the person was that took Justin Herbert second overall,
yes,
that made me throw out my draft plans. And then when Jalen Hurts went at the top of the second, that's when I was really like, okay, this is something different that I really wasn't 100% on board for.
Yeah.
So, as you could see with my team, my first, second, third, fourth, fifth round choices was basically all skill position players because I don't know much about dynasty leagues, but boy, do I know that Cooper Kupp's a talented individual. So I put the guys on my team that I knew would produce, that would get those opportunities. And then I kind of filled in the back end as far as my quarterbacks. I had run out of that opportunities very quickly. Like I said, Jalen Hurts was gone at the beginning of the second. So everybody before him was definitely long gone.
Yes.
That's why I ended up with Brady and Matt Ryan. I really don't feel good about those guys long term, obviously, for many reasons. But that's a bridge I'm going to cross when I get there. It's not on the screen that I'm looking at right now, but I also picked up Marcus Mariota because I think
you did?
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing quite well in Atlanta. Or it might have been Tua, actually. I don't know who I got. It was one of those Mariota or Tagovailoa that I thought were playing well. Yeah, okay, so got Mariota. I think he's been balling, maybe not putting up the numbers that you'd like to see out of a fantasy option, but he's been playing really solid, playing smart ball, and making the Falcons probably look better than they actually are.
Yeah. So going into this week, you're playing your brother. And was there any talk going on between you guys? Did you guys mention the game, the fact that you guys are playing together, or was it just, we're not saying anything, we're going to play, that's just what it is?
No, we didn't even really reference it, to be honest with you. I don't think we brought it up at any point, and I've been kind of taking it easy in the trash talk front in this league, just because, as I said before, I don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get my footing and I understand what's happening, maybe playoff time, it'll come out a little bit more, but I'm just trying to, put my best guys out there and let it happen.
There we go. So with your brother being in the league, have you guys even talked about the league at all? Did you guys have any draft strategy together? Has there been any dynamic between you and your brother going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, we've talked about it in the past, just not really for our matchup this week.
Mm-hmm.
We talked draft strategies going into it, and we were texting each other during the draft. Like I said before, seeing all the quarterbacks go early, seeing guys like Dalvin Cook, he was available in the third round, would be unheard of in any other fantasy league I did. So we were kind of texting back and forth, like, dude, what's going on? Is there something we don't know? Like, is quarterback points like doubled or something? But we figured it out is just because you guys were jumping on the young quarterbacks that you'll be able to keep, which makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
He's in the same boat as I am. You can tell. I mean, I just see Kirk Cousins off the rip right there. That's going to be problematic for anybody long term. So he was definitely in the same boat as me. I have Squigs up next week.
Big game.
I'm willing to bet that is also a similar situation.
Yeah.
He probably also has a mid to low tier starter for quarterback.
Probably. Yeah, well, awesome. I actually don't have a ton else for you, Tyler. Do you got any questions? You kind of just been sitting there in the background this whole time?
Yeah, no, I mean, him, so I was letting you, take head on the interview. Have you played in leagues before with your brother, and is there ever, a dynamic of rivalry throughout the year?
Yeah, I've played in leagues with him before. Actually, I created a league that we refer to as the Fun League, specifically so he can have a fantasy opportunity, and it's like a completely stacked team, 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 4 receivers, tons of flexes, IDPs across the board. And the idea was just to rack up as many points as you can. The bonuses are huge. So we played in that league. He actually won that league the first year we did it. And then my boy D Rich won the league last year that we did it. So it's hard for me to trash talk to him because he has how should I say this? He has a championship in a league that I've been in, and I have 0 fantasy football championships anywhere. So my ability to trash talk is limited at this point. That being said, really playing hard for that gold medal at the end of the year.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah. I don't have any fantasy championships myself. I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride on that. So I get the struggle.
I got you. Well, hey, Tyler, if it makes you feel any better, our boy Robbie here, he auto-drafted in our main league.
Come on. Why you got to bring that up? And the thing is, my team was terrible, too. My team is so bad. But
well, that's what happens when you auto-draft the team.
Yeah. It's. I'm glad I didn't auto-draft in this one because it'd be a long time to be sad. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess my concern with the dynasty aspect, I don't know how much longer Tom's going to play. I don't know how much longer Matty Ice is going to play. I really don't want to see myself going forward in a realistic fantasy football league with Mariota as the number 1 guy. Maybe I could keep him around as that offensive fighter spot. Might be cool, but I'm going to need a real viable QB1 fantasy option, So my question is how in the off season I would be able to get that new guy. Are we just drafting rookies? Are we pulling from free agents?
So it's going to be combined. That's how that draft's going to work. It's going to be the rookies and everybody not actively on a roster is going to be in one draft for everybody. So if you want to take a guy that's an older quarterback, that might be your QB1 for a year or two, you can. Or if you want to take a chance on a rookie quarterback, you can do that too. They're all going to be in the same draft. It's going to be 7 rounds, like at the real NFL draft. So,
do we have any idea at this point how many guys we're keeping into the next?
it is 10.
We're keeping 10 bodies?
Yeah. Theo's already doing math.
Oh, so it's basically like you could keep your starting lineup.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. See, that's good to know for me going forward. Cordero Patterson, like he's been huge this year. He's playing
been
like
good.
a real RB1. I think he might be 3rd in the league in rushing right now, I think, actually. But you can't tell me that 31-year-old Cordero Patterson is a guy who can keep around for a tremendously long time. So he might get the boot when it's all done this year. We'll have to see how it goes.
All right, Theo, I think we're going to wrap this up here. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, taking the time, introducing yourself to the league, talking a little bit about your team. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was Theo. Thank you so much, Theo, for coming on. That was great to have you on. And thank you everybody for tuning in to our video this week. As always, best roast gets $5. This has been the Not Fancy League. I'm Rob.
I've been Tyler. And remember, 5 comments. Adrian goes undefeated.
Thanks, guys.
Give this guy a tattoo. Thanks for watching.